Welcome back to another episode. Today I'm gonna make another system review, and this time of a rare and very unknown system, the Commodore Amiga CDTV. And let's go!
I wanna play video games. I wanna play them all day. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, before we take a look on the CDTV, a little background story on the Commodore Amiga. The Commodore Amiga was a 16-bit home computer system, and it was very popular in Europe in the late 80s and early 90s. And it all started in 1985 when Commodore released the Amiga 1000. It had 265 kilobytes of RAM, and it was a groundbreaking system because, first of all, the graphics and the sound capabilities of this system were amazing for this time, and also because it was one of the first computer systems which had a multitasking operating system. And this was kind of a predecessor of the Microsoft Windows, you could say. And the only downside of the system was its price, because it cost $1,600 with monitor, and without the monitor it cost $1,300. And in 1987 Commodore released the Amiga 500. This is this one. And this system has 512 kilobytes of RAM, and it was all in one. You have the keyboard, the system, and on the side you have the 3.5-inch floppy disk drive. And later on Commodore released other models like the 500 Plus, the 600, 1000, 1200, and so on and so on and so on. Now, why did I mention this model? There are two reasons. First of all, this must be my all-time favorite system. I have so much memories of this system, the games, the software, everything. I really love the system. I grew up with the system, you could say. And the second reason why I mentioned the Amiga 500 is because the CDTV is nothing else than a Commodore Amiga 500 with a CD-ROM drive. Now, in the late 80s, probably around 88 or 89, Commodore wanted to make a new system. They wanted to make a CD-based multimedia device, a system that can play it all, audio CDs, games, programs, educational software, and maybe later on video CDs. And basically in 1991 they released the Commodore CDTV. CDTV stands for Commodore Dynamic Total Vision, and they wanted to distance the system from their computers. So first of all, the system is only called Commodore CDTV. You won't find the name Amiga on the system, and also they chose, let's say, VCR music CD player design, and they marketed the system as a multimedia device, and especially not as a computer. Commodore would say, this is not a computer, this is a multimedia device. It's just something, everything else than a computer. And yeah, like I said, 1991 it was released. The technology inside is basically Amiga 500 with 1 megabyte RAM, and also a single speed CD-ROM which uses CD caddies. What is a CD caddy? This is this little thing, and to play CDs you would have to place the CD inside, close it, and like a cartridge put it inside the CD-ROM. So it also came with a remote control, which could be also used as a controller. You have a D-pad and 2 buttons, and the whole system costs $1,100 in 1991. Now, there was also accessory for the system, like a 3.5-inch disk drive, and also a mouse, and also a keyboard. And with those three devices, the floppy disk, the mouse and the keyboard, you could downgrade the system, and then you basically would have an Amiga 500 and you could play the old Amiga games on the system. Because basically it should be 100% compatible to every other Amiga 500 game, or better, to every other Amiga game, but only, let's say, only 80%, maybe 90% of all the games work on the system. It has something to do with the chips, because the older Amiga has so-called OCS chips inside, and the CDTV uses ECS chips inside. So it has something to do with the chips and the compatibility, but for almost every game it should work on the CDTV with the floppy and the keyboard and the mouse. And yeah, what can I say about the system? It flopped big time. Why? First of all, the price, $1,100 was way too expensive back then, and also you would have to pay for the accessory, like the floppy. The keyboard costs around $150, the mouse $120, a trackball controller costs $150, and so on and so on and so on. So it was way too expensive, and almost a couple of months after the CDTV was released, they sold the CDTV with the floppy, the mouse and the keyboard as a bundle for only, or for $1,100. And yeah, also later on in 1992 they had also an advertising concept that you could trade your Amiga 500 with, and you would have to pay $700. Then you would get an Amiga CDTV with the floppy, the mouse and the keyboard. I don't have the keyboard yet, but I'm still on the search. I look almost every time on eBay. Maybe someday I will get my keyboard. And also another thing, why would you buy the CDTV keyboard and also the mouse for $120? Well, first of all the devices for the CDTV are in black. All should match the system. You could maybe see it here on the picture, not the monitor but everything else. And also the controller port on the back of the system, which I can show you in a few minutes. They made a unique controller port for the mouse and for the keyboard, so you can't use your old mouse from your other Amigas, or also the keyboard. And yeah, for there on you would have to buy the original CDTV devices or accessory for the system to use them. And yeah, this was one of the reasons why it flopped big time. The other thing was the marketing, and the marketing was a disaster, because Commodore itself marketed the system as a multimedia device and said it is not a computer. So you had on one hand the Amiga community who looked at the system and said, this doesn't look like a computer, it doesn't feel like a computer, and even Commodore says it is not a computer. And also Commodore wanted to release the A570, which was a CD-ROM drive for the Amiga 500, which they released in 1992 for about $400 to $500. And they thought, why should I pay $1,100 for a CDTV instead of buying a A570 for only $400 to $500? And you could also play the CDTV titles with the A570. So, and on the other hand you had the normal consumer, and they looked at the system and thought it has computer technology inside, it has a CD-ROM, oh my god, this is too technical, this must be a computer. And yeah, then also the main advertising channel for this system were Amiga Magazines. And I have Amiga Magazines from the time I read Amiga Joker at the time, and to be honest, the people who basically reviewed the games and the systems and wrote the articles, they were really interested in this system. But they, like everyone else, nobody believed in the CD-ROM media, because using CD-ROMs for video games was very new. And yeah, like I said, nobody believed, nobody could ever imagine that the CD replaces the discs or cartridges from other video game systems. And also they wanted to see software for this system. And this is also another thing why the system failed, because there were very few CDTV titles only. I have only 2 or 3 games which are CDTV titles only, and the rest of the games that came out for this system were already available for the normal Amiga computers. So in the end it were just conversions of the Amiga version. And this would be the same like the PlayStation 3 came out and you can only get converted PlayStation 2 games for the system. I mean, there's no reason for buying the system just for a little better sound, not even graphic improved. I mean, yeah, but basically this was the background story and a little bit about the story for the system. But I think I told enough. Let's take a closer look at the system and later on at some of the games and also some demos that are on the games which show some graphics and gameplay of other titles that came out for the system.